Welcome to the YouTube channel Captivating Home, your cozy corner for timeless interiors, charming spaces, and design stories that make your house truly feel like home. Today's video is all about how to decorate with a warm, neutral vintage style and aesthetic that exudes elegance, comfort, and ageless charm. Whether you're redesigning a room or dreaming of a full home makeover, this video is packed with ideas to help you capture that soft vintage beauty. If you're someone who loves soft earth tones, cozy textures, and decor that tells a story, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode filled with inspiring design tips and captivating transformations. Let's dive into this warm, welcoming world of vintage neutral design that feels just like home. One, the foundation, choosing a warm neutral color palette. Creating a warm neutral vintage home begins with the right color foundation. Think creamy beiges, soft taupes, weathered whites, and muted browns, tones that evoke calmness and age beautifully over time. These colors create a gentle backdrop that lets vintage textures and materials shine. Opt for wall paints with warm undertones, like ivory with a hint of caramel, to give your space that lived-in, timeless glow. 2. Pair these warm neutrals with layers of similar tones in your textiles, furniture, and decorative accents. The magic of a cohesive palette is that it never overwhelms. Each piece contributes to the sense of flow and serenity. Vintage homes thrive on subtle contrasts, so think natural linen curtains, aged brass details, or a faded ochre rug to add visual depth without straying from the warmth. 2. Vintage furniture, character and comfort combined. Vintage furniture is the heart of a warm, neutral home, offering both comfort and a sense of character. Look for well-worn pieces like distressed wooden dressers, antique armchairs with classic lines, or French country-style dining tables. The key is embracing imperfections. Those little chips, scratches, or faded finishes tell a story and add soul to your space. 'When choosing upholstery, lean into tactile comfort, worn leather, chunky knits, or soft, aged cottons in shades of almond, wheat, or fog. These fabrics not only feel inviting but age gracefully, becoming even more beautiful with time. Mixing styles from different eras like a Victorian tufted sofa with a mid-century sideboard adds layers of interest, while keeping the palette unified and grounded. Three, layering textures, softness, and soul. One of the most powerful ways to make your warm, neutral vintage home feel alive is through layered textures. Think handwoven throws, faded oriental rugs, matte pottery, and vintage linen slipcovers all in neutral shades. These elements not only bring tactile richness but also reflect the age and soul of vintage styling. Texture makes a space feel lived in and loved, even without bold color. Don't be afraid to mix and match coarse jute against buttery velvet, or raw wood next to delicate lace. This interplay adds quiet drama and depth without disrupting the calm energy of the room. Even wall art in sepia tones or framed vintage fabric swatches can elevate the look, turning every corner into a curated, cozy vignette. Four, accessories with meaning, stories in every detail. Accessories in a warm, neutral vintage home should feel collected, not purchased in bulk. Choose pieces that tell a story, perhaps a ceramic jug from a flea market, a vintage mirror with a patina frame, or a stack of old books bound in linen. These details carry emotion and character, grounding your space with layers of lived history and personality. Think about adding subtle touches of nostalgia, like antique candle holders, aged photo frames, or heirloom clocks. Every item should feel like it belongs, contributing to a sense of place and time. Grouping items in odd numbers or creating mini still-life moments on mantels and side tables keeps your decor feeling organic and intentional. Five, creating inviting light, the warm glow of vintage living. Lighting plays a transformative role in warm, neutral vintage decor. Aim for soft, ambient light that creates an inviting, golden glow. Vintage-inspired lamps with fabric shades, wrought iron sconces, or even a chandelier with warm-toned bulbs can add that perfect touch of romance and nostalgia. The key is avoiding harsh lighting. Opt instead for a moody, mellow radiance. Layering light is essential. Mix overhead fixtures with table and floor lamps to create depth and softness throughout the day. Candles and lanterns, especially those with a vintage finish, enhance the timeless ambience and bring a magical flicker to quiet evenings. Lighting isn't just functional, it's emotional, setting the tone for the entire space. Six. Timeless wall treatments, subtle backdrops that speak volumes. One of the most overlooked aspects of vintage decor is the wall treatment, yet it holds incredible potential to elevate a warm, neutral home. Softly textured wallpaper, like linen weave or faded floral patterns in beige or oatmeal hues, can provide an elegant backdrop without overwhelming the space. Even a simple plaster finish or line wash in warm tones adds old-world character and a handcrafted touch. Consider incorporating vintage-inspired wainscoting or beadboard painted in creamy whites or taupe grays. These architectural details echo the craftsmanship of the past and provide structure and visual interest. Accent walls with antique mirrors or botanical prints in wooden frames can complete the story, transforming blank walls into sophisticated layers of texture and warmth. Seven. Embracing patina, the beauty of aged finishes. In a warm, neutral vintage home, patina isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. Whether it's an aged bronze doorknob, a time-worn dresser with peeling paint, or a set of copper pans with a mellow gleam, these finishes add authenticity and timeless appeal. Patina tells the story of years gone by, which makes every piece feel like a cherished memory rather than a mere object. Let your decor age naturally, and don't rush to refinish or repaint. Instead, highlight imperfections. Cracks in ceramic, faded fabrics, and sun-kissed wood grain all contribute to a relaxed, soulful vibe. Even mixing metals like antique brass and brushed nickel can add layers of soft shine without clashing, as long as the tone remains warm and cohesive. Eight. Vintage-inspired kitchens, heart of the home in neutrals. A vintage kitchen styled in warm neutrals becomes the heart of the home, radiating charm and practicality. Opt for shaker-style cabinets in soft ivory or grayish tones, paired with aged brass hardware and open shelving to display stoneware and antique jars. Butcher block counters or honed marble add both functionality and a rustic elegance that ages gracefully. Complement the look with vintage-style lighting, like schoolhouse pendants or a chandelier over a farmhouse table. Accessories such as woven baskets, glass canisters, and weathered cutting boards tie everything together. The kitchen becomes not only a cooking space but a cozy nook full of history, warmth, and thoughtful details that echo a simpler time. Nine. Bringing nature indoors, earthy elements in a vintage space. Nature is a key companion to the warm, neutral vintage aesthetic. Incorporating organic materials such as dried botanicals, wooden bowls, stone vases, and woven baskets helps blur the lines between inside and out. These earthy elements bring texture, tranquility, and grounding energy, perfectly in tune with the soft, aged feel of the vintage style. Even something as simple as a bundle of eucalyptus in a ceramic jug or a bowl of pine cones on an antique tray can breathe life into your decor. Use natural linen table runners or burlap textures to further emphasize the connection to nature. The idea isn't to decorate with plants for greenery's sake, it's to echo the timeless rhythm of the seasons. Bedroom Bliss, vintage calm in warm neutrals. The bedroom in a warm neutral vintage home should feel like a retreat, quiet, layered, and soothing. Begin with linen or cotton bedding in washed out tones like ivory, sand, or mushroom. Add a quilted throw or crocheted blanket passed down from generations. Vintage nightstands, perhaps mismatched, create a collected and cozy effect that feels more curated than styled. Use soft lighting like antique bedside lamps or a hanging pendant with a milk glass shade to maintain that gentle ambience. Personal touches, such as a stack of vintage books, a perfume tray, or a framed black and white photo, add intimacy and memory to the space. A neutral palette in the bedroom doesn't feel bland, it feels like a timeless lullaby in decor form. (11) Curated collections, decorating with meaningful vintage finds. Curated collections breathe life into a warm, neutral vintage home, making it feel intentional rather than staged. Whether it's vintage teacups, antique books, or old portrait paintings, a well-curated display creates a sense of history and personal style. Stick to a warm, neutral palette throughout your pieces. Worn whites, natural wood, sepia tones so the collection enhances your space without creating visual clutter. The trick is in how you display your collections. Use wooden trays, aged metal shelving, or vintage cabinets with glass doors to turn everyday items into artistic expressions. Rotate items seasonally or by mood to keep your decor fresh and evolving. These collections aren't just objects, they're chapters of your story, whispering nostalgia and timeless charm into every room. (12) Blending old and new, vintage harmony with modern touches. Decorating with a warm, neutral vintage style doesn't mean avoiding modern design, it means balancing it thoughtfully. A contemporary sofa in a soft oatmeal linen can sit beautifully beside a distressed wood coffee table. A sleek brass floor lamp can highlight a vintage gallery wall. The contrast adds interest while the shared palette keeps the design seamless. Focus on harmony over uniformity. Choose modern pieces with classic silhouettes and vintage pieces with timeless character. Keep color tones soft and warm to unify different eras effortlessly. This balance allows your space to feel fresh and current, while honoring the beauty of the past, bridging generations in a quiet, elegant way. (13) Hallways and entryways, small spaces with vintage personality. Even small or transitional spaces like hallways and entryways can radiate the warmth of vintage style. A slim console in weathered wood, a repurposed bench with a linen cushion, or a coat rack made from antique hooks instantly infuse personality into an otherwise overlooked area. These spaces are your home's first impression. Let them speak softly and sweetly. Use neutral runners, softly lit sconces, and vintage frames to make narrow spaces feel inviting rather than utilitarian. Even a small gallery of family photos and mismatched frames can turn a plain hallway into a meaningful visual journey. These quiet corners help tie your home's style together, creating a cohesive, comforting vintage flow. (14) Creating mood through scent and sound. A warm, neutral vintage home isn't just a look, it's a feeling, and that feeling is deepened through scent and sound. Incorporate soy candles and earthy scents like sandalwood, vanilla, or amber. Use essential oil diffusers with natural aromas that bring peace and nostalgia. Even a bowl of dried lavender can stir memories and calm the spirit. Complement the mood with soft background music, perhaps acoustic guitar, vintage jazz, or classical piano playing on a turntable or wireless speaker with a retro design. These sensory elements complete the atmosphere, wrapping your home in invisible layers of comfort. When sight, scent, and sound work together, your vintage space becomes a soulful sanctuary. Conclusion: let your home tell its story. Decorating in a warm, neutral vintage style is about more than choosing the right colors or furniture, it's about storytelling. It's creating an environment where every piece has a past, where every texture feels lived in, and where peace lingers in the air. Whether you're just beginning or refining your space, trust your eye, trust your heart, and let your home evolve gently over time. Thank you for joining us today on Captivating Home. If this video inspired you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more timeless design ideas and vintage-inspired transformations. Your home is a canvas, make it captivating. Until next time, stay cozy, stay creative, and keep making beautiful spaces.